Okay, students, Unit 3 we are discussing, and last videos also I explained consumer's perspective of mercantile process model and also mercantile process. Very important question I explained EPS, electronic payment system. Okay, just look at this, it's very important. Definition, systems, and the gear change of EPS from 2010 to 20. Cash transfers were reduced to 25% as they were 34% in 10 because of increase in electronic payments. What is required for EPS? How the EPS and in EPS cards are very important. Debit card, credit card, smart cards. These debit card, credit card, smart cards also we discussed in separate videos. Processing advantages and disadvantages separately we discussed with the electronic cash. Electronic wallets. This is e-check. Benefits of e-payment to buyers, to sellers. Types of EPS, electronic payment system. Security issues related with the EPS. It's very important. EPS is very important for examination. Advantages that is regarding EPS. Credit cards we discussed in detail. So structure of credit card, classification of credit cards, domestic cards as well as national usage, international usage. So the credit card cycle, billing cycle or credit card cycle from we purchase to bill payment. Advantages of credit cards to merchants and card companies. Disadvantages, safety tips we know. So another card is a debit card. This you know very well. Digital cash, this is how digital cash is transforming. Digital cash properties, how digital cash is working, advantage and disadvantage about digital cash system, features of digital cash, future challenges of digital cash. Very important and not in the syllabus, but we have to learn that is bitcoins. We call it as a cryptocurrency. Okay, types of currencies, history of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin exchanges in India. So I gathered different portals, Bitcoin exchange portals for your reference purpose. This is Vajrex, CoinMama. So the Bitcoin transaction is going on. Bitcoin is based on blockchain technology. So how blockchain is working also I depicted through this diagram. How it is working. So why it is called blockchain? Each and every transaction is stored and added in the form of a block, a separate block. So $100 I transfer to you. So $100 transfer from account number 123 to 456, amount, date, time, and everything is in the form of one block added to server or network. Smart cards also explained in the last video. Okay, students. benefits of smart card, security with smart card, categories, advantages, disadvantages. Now we are coming with the electronic checks. Okay, so the success of e-commerce relies on developing adequate payment technologies. Exactly. In 2000, year 2007, 8, there is a money payment to the e-commerce portals or e-commerce operators is through physical checks. There is a yellow boxes are there, which was kept at the supermarkets. So when I want to pay money to eBay, when I bought any watch or any digital device or whatever it may be to online, so I have to draft a check and I should have to be dropped in yellow box, which is available at some particular places. So that check was collected by third parties and deposited to their accounts. If the check is realized, then only my item will be start processing. My order is start processing, means item will be packed and sent to my address. You just imagine how much time it is taking. Okay, if any problem in check collection, or if any problem in check deposit, if any problem with the delay in depositing the checks or collecting the deposits, that depends on that effect on the e-commerce transactions. So presently, with the integration of banking technology with the e-commerce, and amount will be transferred very quick, very quick. So now the number of transactions are increased. In that, one electronic technology that is e-check. It is an electronic document with a paper check or online transaction with the digital signature. Digital signature enabled with handwritten signatures. So sometimes there is a possibility of forging the physical signature, but it is not possible to forge the digital signature because it is highly secured. So now the e-check is enabled with the digital signatures. So a form of payment made via the internet that is designed to perform the same function as a conventional paper check. Digital check is like a conventional check and it is enabled with the digital signature. Name of the party to whom we pay, amount, words, everything will be same. And it is authentication. It has authentication, and it is developed with the cryptography and enabled with the digital signatures. And those were encrypted without marking or without which is unable to seen by others. Okay, so this technology was developed a couple of years ago by consortium of Silicon Valley IT researchers and merchant bankers. Since then, it has been promoted by many of the financial bodies. So last 2-3 years back, this e-check was developed because of the technology was becoming changing day by day. So they thought that instead of physical papers, now it is better to develop a e-check like a photograph enabled and encrypted with the technology. And e-check works the same way as a paper check. So usually I will write on the paper and sign with the pen. But digital check or e-check is generated by the system and with the signature and XML documents that provide mechanism to authenticate parties to transaction. So with the financial service markup language, FSML is there, and they developed with that one document or photo is developed as it is like a physical check. And there are some blocks are there, signing, co-signing, endorsing, and those are accompanied by bank issued certificates which tie the signatures key to the bank account. That exactly okay. Usually when there are transfer between bank to bank, they usually use this e-checks. Now that e-checks are probably generated by the traders and for the transfer of money or payment to the other parties. So that e-check was secured and accepted by the bank, and they will transfer money to the other bank accounts. The check is compared with the interactive web transactions with email and does not depend upon real-time interactions or third-party organizations. No need to accept or authorized by the third parties. It will known to the bankers. It will known to the bankers. And payees and the financial system will also recognize that one. Payers and payees can be individual, business or financial institutions such as banks. I already told. For transfer of money, we just imagine money will be sometimes funded by transferred from Reserve Bank to the banks itself. So what they will do, Hyderabad Reserve Bank is there. They don't shift the chest of money to the banks. What they will do, they will transfer money through e-check to the banks. So that e-check, that is in which form? Electronic form. That electronic form amount is transferred to the other loanees or whoever it may be in the form of electronic. And the person who got a loan, he will pay also in the form of electronic payments to the other parties. So in this line, physical cash requirement will be very limited. So the payer writes an e-check by structuring an electronic document with information legally required to be in a check and digitally sign it. So I want to prepare a check physically. Bank is provided with bundles of 100, 50, 25 and 10 like that. So what I am doing, I am writing the payee name and money. A payee account number is enabled for quick transaction. Money in words and digits. Later I will sign it. So now in the same manner that is generated in the systems. The payee receives the e-check over a mail or web, verifies the payer's digital signature and writes out to deposit and digitally sign it. That's all. I send the money to the Bangalore party. So Bangalore party will receive the check through mail which I send from my business mail, and they will verify my signature, digital signature online, and they confirm that is correct and will deposit into their accounts. Will send to bank for the deposit. Payee bank verifies the payer and payee's digital signature and forward the check for clearing and settlement. Amount will seem like physical, but it is there is no pen paper is there. Everything is in digital format. Payer's bank verifies the payee's digital signatures and debits the payer account credit to the payee. Okay, so payer process. In order to send a check, clients simply fill out a standard e-check. The system allows clients to define common payees in order to speed the check creation process. When the check has been written, it can be easily transferred from the payer to the payee over a secure e-check channel. Okay, and SWIFT is one account is there that is used by the banks to pay international payments. So that is one channel to transfer money or pay money to the international traders. Here e-check is also helpful. E-check is also prepared and developed to transfer money from one account to the other account. Okay. Right. So this secure channel will be established between the payer and the payee. So they will have separate mail accounts or whatever it may be provided by the either bank or whoever. The check is automatically signed by the user using his private key and through algorithms and security. Security will be either 128 or 256 bits, and the e-check is automatically signed by the user using his private key, and this ensures authenticity and the integrity of the e-check. Okay. So payee process. He will receive the check and he will sign on it with his digital signature and send to the bank. Bank verify both the signatures and clear the money, debit one account and credit the other account. Okay, so just to understand the process. You want to collect an e-check payment from a customer. So you will receive authorization from your customer. Okay, right. So connects to the directly to the e-check processor, e-check process bank, and your customer's bank receives the transaction. The processor distribute and verified the e-check file to your bank. Simply he will verify the signatures and credit and debit the both the accounts. Benefits of e-check: there is no physical movement of checks, so no fear of loss of check in transit. Okay, so once upon a time, I draw a check on one company and I hand over them. So after 2 days, after 1 day or 2 day, I received from some other third party because I write my name and mobile number backside of check. Then they called me, sir, your check is with us. Then where are you? We are at so and so place, sir. So how could you get this check? We don't know, sir, but when we turn back and your number is there, for the sake of you, we are calling. Okay. So then I came to know, and again I called to them where I handed over my check. They told that we are unable to find. So immediately I told them the check is with so and so person, please collect. So by mistakenly that was thrown in somewhere else, which was collected by the sweeper and handed over to the in other office. Even though that check is crossed, nothing will happen to my account. But the problem with the physical check, physical is like that. Okay, but the digital form, it cannot go anywhere. There are separate channels between the bank as well as a receiver and a sender and receiver. Clearance will be 3 to 4 working days, and even physical checks also, if it is local within the city, only 1 day, and with other cities are 3 or 4 days. But this electronic checks, it is only hours only. It is a secured one because both the payer and payee are enabled with digital signatures with the cryptography techniques. So it is secured. Decrease errors and fraud. Exactly. Some years back, there is a fraud of demand drafts. People collude with bank, and they taking the demand draft, and that was encashed in some other banks. So once they verified, and that is to be a fraud itself. But here it is not possible to generate duplicates. So they can serve corporate markets. Firms can use them in more cost-effective manner. So corporates are usually used this e-checks to transfer money among themselves. And benefits to the bank: reduce the risk associated with the paper clearing. So just imagine this is the pandemic. Touching the papers touched by others is a risky one. But in the digital format, nobody will touch the checks, and you are free of corona. Okay, and banks has to every time print the checks with the number to be registered in bank site. Whenever any check received, they will verify whether it is a registered check or not. So that is also time taking and risk and paper. So this will be reduced with this e-check. Verification and reconciliation, because the checks are issued by the e-checks were generated with the help of the bank only. That will be known to each and everybody. So verification and reconciliation will be easy. No geographical restrictions. You can send your e-check to anywhere itself. And physical movement of checks It saved the cost and time for banks. Earlier, there are separate third parties are there. Presently, third parties are also there. What is their job? Their job is to visit each and every bank, and they collect the checks from each and every bank, and they segregate according to the bank wise, and they will hand over these checks to the checks in clearing house. So there is a um, separate body which is work under 24 by 7 as in clearing houses, and these checks which are collected from the branches of banks were transferred the money from one account to the other account which was drawn. So this time is saved, and cost of the third party payment as well as cost of maintaining electronic clearing houses is also reduced, and more time is saved by the banks in this format. No chance of check dishonor. So here, when I am writing physical checks, I should have to be verified in the digital form whether the money is available or not. When I am trying to generate e-check, and it will automatically verify my amount column with the balance column. Sufficient amount is there, then only e-check is generated. If the sufficient amount is not there, then e-check may not be generated. Hence, there is no risk of dishonor. Okay, and well suited for clearing micro payments. Maximum payments, all the payments, even small or big. So here the simple, no paper, digital format, it will be suited for that. Reducing processing cost by up to 60%. Exactly I told. So here I can remove the third party to collect the checks from branch to clearing houses, and there is a no need of services of clearing houses. Clearing houses are also not required. So 60% of the cost of processing the checks will be reduced. Okay. So less manpower to process and don't come with any deposit or transaction fees. And as a result, processing an e-checks is generally much cheaper than processing of paper checks or credit card transactions. Okay, the work will be smarter and greener. So the fuel consumption will be reduced, and it will be a green transactions. Okay, so there will be ACHs are there, automatic clearing houses are there. Those were automatic clearing houses, no electronic clearing houses. Then drawbacks about this e-checks are customer education, chances of misuse and hacking. So one is customer has to educate literacy, digital literacy to be educated. Then only customer can generate e-checks. So there is a possibility of hacking, which is a dangerous for electronic transactions. Sometimes they may generate a duplicate one by hacking my account or e-check, and need a different infrastructure. Exactly. Okay, there is separate channels has to be developed, and separate software has to be developed, and that should be integrated with the banks and corporate. That is needed to get a fast and good transactions. So unauthorized transactions become challenge for banks. Sometimes if anybody generated any unauthorized, that is also problem to the banks. Okay, problem could be when there is more than one signer or endorser. Sometimes corporates are running on with the two signatures, 2 or 3 people signatures. So technically checking those may time taking, as well as maybe failure also. Sometimes it leads to failure. Payer and pay should have e-check facility. So I have e-check facility, but you don't have e-check facility, then I cannot use my e-check facility to transfer money to you people. Okay. So India e-check facility is now replaced by CTS, check truncation system, in 2010. Now the check, what I explained earlier, physical collection of the checks from bank, segregation and send it to CTS. Now the third party who is collecting the checks were replaced with the electronic scanning of the checks. So if I deposit the check in bank, they will scan the check and they will send the image or share the image with the CTS, electronic check truncation system. So with that digital photocopy, and they will transfer money from one place to the one account to the other account. So where there will be a physical check which will be converted into e-check by scanning and transferred for clearance, and the time taken for clearance is 24 hours. Okay. State Bank of India enabled with the check collection machines. So what I have to do? I have to insert the check. Then it will take a photocopy and send back to me for reference purpose. Same photocopy is shared by that machine or the bank with the CTS, check truncation system, which is very fast for clearance. Okay. So these are the about the third unit, which is third unit is e-commerce, consumer oriented applications. E-commerce, mercantile, and there are mercantile process model with consumer's perspective and merchant perspective. Okay, students. So in this unit, important is one is consumer perspective and merchant perspective. Another one is EPS, electronic payment system. Another one is explain about debit and credit cards. Sometimes short answer question is electronic cash. Electronic wallets also short answer question. So e-check just I explained in this video. You just look at the e-check. How the e-check is working. E-payment benefits. EPS, electronic payment system, is a very important question. Credit cards, debit cards, debit card, e-cash, digital cash or e-cash, and very important, not important, and to understand better at the present scenario, cryptocurrency, as well as blockchain technology. You have to understand these two. Okay, when time permits, please browse in internet about the cryptocurrency as well as blockchain technology. Smart cards, and the last video is e-check. Okay, so this is replacement of physical check, started in the year 2010 onwards, very recent, which is presently used by the corporates for transfer of money between themselves. Payer and payee signatures are enabled with digital format. Bank will verify both the signatures and transfer money between payer and payee. So with the help of this e-check, the processing cost were reduced by 60% maximum. Okay, so there is a revolution in banking sector with this electronic or information technology. Okay, students, bye. Take care. Okay, and now we will move to Unit 4, that is EDI, Electronic Data Interchange. Electronic data interchange, and I shared first unit short answer objective questions which may be useful for you in your first assignment test held in the month of June first week. Okay, students, bye.